Hey, everybody. Grant Miller here, Miami Community News. I'm with Paul Blake, Firefighters, Fighter Flyers of Miami-Dade, and Miss Astaire.
Miss Astaire.
Well, aren't you the one and only Elizabeth?
Well, I am the only Elizabeth Whitney, but I'm definitely not Miss Astaire.
No, definitely not. So, what's this whole thing about today? We have Dancing with the Stars.
Dancing like the stars.
Dancing like the stars.
Dancing like the stars.
And what does Paul Blake have to do with this? And how did you guys meet?
A phone call.
It's kind of a long story.
I got all day.
Okay, great.
We got lunch coming in. We got dinner coming in.
Perfect. We'll be here a while.
Okay.
So let's back it up a little bit. Like, I know we've talked about how I worked as a nurse during the pandemic for forever. Basically forever, and I was all over the country.
But you were traveling all over the country too?
I did, yeah.
So you just didn't train, you didn't just work here?
No. I was in actually all the hot spots in the last year and a half. So I went to New York City, I went to Montana, I went to California, I went to Texas, I was in El Paso, like right by Mexico.
Were you, and who's paying it? The federal government?
No, usually agencies contracted by the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah. It was an interesting.
That's great for marriage. You weigh a lot.
Yeah, well, right? My husband has never liked me so much. No, I'm kidding. He's great. He's wonderful. But in all seriousness, so I traveled all over the country, and I had the great fortune to land a contract here in Miami at Jackson, which I can't say enough good things about. Like, love them to bits. Jackson South was wonderful to me.
Who was the CEO? Eddie? Was Eddie the CEO then?
No. Andy was the CNO.
Okay.
Who is also spectacular, by the way. But anyway, so long story short, I worked with them for almost a year. I was there for a long time. And while I was there, I took care of a great many people in the ICU, one of them being a career firefighter, who was one of those people who, changes your life. Incredible, amazing, incredible, fantastic human. And I had the good fortune to meet a little bit more of the fire department, the fire chief,
they were all coming
family. They were all, a little bit. And while I was with them, unfortunately, we lost him and he died, which was like absolutely heart-wrenching for everybody.
How long was he in the hospital?
Not long. I mean, maybe less than 2 weeks, probably. Like,
wow.
Maybe 3 weeks, but
Paul,
it was very short.
Were you friends with him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was absolutely heart-wrenching. And he was an amazing, amazing person. I can't say enough good things about him. But that being said, I had the good fortune to meet his family and spend a little bit more time with the fire department. And I was talking to them a lot about kind of the things that are going on with the fire department in general and kind of the things that they've been dealing with. And that was kind of where this came in, because I said, what can we do? How can I help? What can we do? And Chief Williams, actually, Willie Williams, who we joke all the time, is like, he was very close friends with my patient, and he is one of my favorite people in the whole world. I will tell you that. He's wonderful. I like him almost as much as you, Grant, which is saying a lot.
Paul,
right?
Are you impressed, Paul?
I'm just saying.
But Paul knows me better, so he knows it.
So he knows. But so I said to him, what can I do? Like, do you guys need like a fundraiser? Like, do you need something? Like, what do you need? And he was kind of like surprised by that, but he said, yeah, that'd be great. So it's been going back and forth. We've been talking about this, and that was kind of where this came into play. So after a couple months, he said, look, the person you need to talk to is the Firefighters Union at 1403. Call them. They're going to help us get this set up. They're going to be the people that can put us on the right track. So I spoke with a wonderful woman who said, let me talk to the treasurer. He's going to call you, which is how I got a hold of Paul.
Yes.
Oh, you're the treasurer?
I am the treasurer. I'm the treasurer of Metro Dade Firefighters. That's our main organization. We have a charity. It's Firefighter Charities. It's a 501c3. And so, we host fundraisers quite often, but we have never had an opportunity where somebody from the outside has approached us about doing a fundraiser for our organization.
That was a really good call, actually.
Yeah. So, I mean, the vast majority of our contributions are individual member donations. They donated each pay period for the paycheck to Firefighter Charities, and the Firefighter Charities is set up to help firefighters and their families that belong to organizations, other 501c3s. I tell my guys that it's absolutely the best 501c3, if you're going to give to it, the firefighter charities is because it's the best to do it, because all of our acts are recorded. Everything is, we help our own. We have a number of our members, Lloyd Brown Wildlife Foundation, Dade County, that are members of our association, and they have their own charities. And so we give to them each year. So there's a lot of firefighters that are involved in the community through their own respective 501c3s that we support. A lot of animal organizations as well.
Just to let you know, I think I've known Paul 25 years.
Yeah,
Mm.
at least.
I go by years, but it's really by pounds. It's about 40 pounds ago. So, so do you know what?
Not necessarily by hair, because I think I've lost more in that time than you have in those
I have
20.
too.
Yeah.
All right. So you put together this fundraising idea.
So it was kind of an interesting phone call, because Paul calls me back right away. Like, I mean, within 10 minutes, Paul calls me and he's like, tell me what's going on. And I said, well, I'm calling you because I have this fundraiser that I'm running. He's like, okay, well, how what does that have to do with us, basically? And I said, well, I'm running a fundraiser for you. And he's just laughing. He goes, what? Because I've been talking about this with
Right.
Chief Williams, but I haven't really had contact with them. And so that was kind of where this whole thing started out. And Paul actually has been able to connect us to a really great place to put the money, which was the Resiliency Project. So basically, this whole thing started out, I was going to do a fundraiser for the fire department in general, because I think that they're wonderful and they've been through a lot. And I was personally touched by some fantastic people from Miami-Dade Fire Rescue. And Paul said, well, hey, we have this new charity. What do you think about this? So I don't know if you want to tell them about the project.
So, yes.
I think it's a great idea. Paul, why don't you talk about it a little bit?
So the Resiliency Project, PTSD has, I don't want to say it's
What is that?
So post-traumatic stress disorder, thank you, is something that has inflicted in healthcare workers and first responders for a long time, if you will.
Before we even knew what it was.
Before we even know,
Sure.
And so, it's, I don't know the exact statistics, but I would say that suicide probably takes more first responders than does actual, events, fires, accidents. That,
Move up a little bit, Paul.
thank you, is that it's a serious issue. And so fast forward, if you will, is that when we had that horrific incident down the Surfside, and, looking at the impact it was having, not just on the first responders, but the disaster response teams, and having to work in that environment as long as they did, we realized that, we're going to have issues. And what I mean by issues, that there are going to be, there's going to be real issues with guys having to figure this out. There are some members that have since retired early. There are some that have decided they don't want to be a part of the task forces anymore, just because they don't want to endure that stress anymore. So long term,
the emotional toll that
it
takes,
it's a huge emotional toll.
like that.
It's a huge emotional toll.
Yeah.
And so realizing that, we were getting requests to donate to, for mental health on the PTSD issues. And so what we're looking at is, setting up or a fund and a charity that will pay for counseling, therapists that will be just
Doesn't the
just
county
one-sided.
insurance cover that?
Well, the county has in the last contract, as the county's agreed to donate towards this project, if you will, this charity. So what we did was we set up, outside of our firefighter charities, we established a new 501c3 that will be the Resiliency Project. And because when we were taking donations, if you will, because there were a lot of I don't want to say residents areas that said, hey, I want to give towards, because realizing that there are going to be some real emotional issues, I want to help with that. I want to help with the emotional recovery, if you will. And so what we had is we had to put that in our existing 501c3. And then when we get everything set up with the EIN and the bank account, we'll transfer those monies over. And this is where Elizabeth came in, is I want to help with the Resiliency Project. I want to help raise funds for that charity. And so that's where the Dancing Like a Star came in and save the date, because we have a beautiful hall that we're going to be able to host.
Are you dancing in it?
I'm not dancing
The
in
chief
it.
is, right?
Yeah.
The chief is.
I have
The
to
chief is
I have to
dancing.
go back to firemen.
Go.
People think all they hear is people only hear they work every third or fourth day. That's what people hear. They don't realize that day they work, they could do nothing. they can do nothing the next day, the next day, the next day, the next day. But only that one day when there's a fire and they save somebody's life and risk their own life to save somebody.
Mhm.
So we all measure the benefits, but people don't realize the risk they take.
Well, there's, he'd asked me, I had retired after 30 years, and it's not so much, you can institutionalize, Grant. You do something for so long, and, I'd say like the Shawshank Redemption. It's a Shaw with Jeeves when the whole deal with suicide. Jeeves was here and he hangs himself because he can't really function outside into normal society because they've had this routine for so long. So, you compound the tragedies, and it's just not with the fires. You took, the loss of life of a child struck, child drowns. I mean, there's so much. A co-worker dies. It takes your toll on you. So
in the last couple of years, they've actually done a lot of research on post-traumatic stress disorder, and not just post-traumatic stress disorder, but secondarily a category called CPTSD, or complex post-traumatic stress disorder, which comes from a series of traumatic events, even if they're smaller than the much larger traumatic event or disaster. So even though it might not have been Surfside every single time they went into a burning building, you have a series of traumatic, scary, stressful, horrible events that compound over a long period of time to create PTSD.
That's correct. And I got a PLHD, learning how to dance. I've been stressed out for days after she taught
me. Are you going to dance?
No. But she taught me how to dance.
Can dream.
I can only dream about it. But so let's get to some positive notes about the dancing.
Sure.
It's very exciting. So right now, who are the Astaires?
So
as of today,
we are still compounding our list because we've had some people sign up and then later, they can't commit. But overall, Vance Lupus is there currently.
Our state rep, he's an outstanding guy.
Amazing person. Tim Mirbath, Mayor, Cutler Bay. They're actively taking lessons.
Yeah.
Demi Cabrera, also state rep. She comes on Friday.
I plug to Demi Cabrera, who is sponsoring the PTSD bill in the Florida legislature.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
right.
It is.
Which is also super important.
Yeah.
I wish I could say that I planned this. I didn't plan this.
Yes, you did.
I didn't. This was not on purpose. But it just
Can I dance with her?
With Demi?
Or do I have to dance with Tim?
No.
Oh, no. The pros dance.
I'll put you with Raquel. You'll be all right.
Who else is going?
But so as of right now, Mark Trowbridge from...
Did he?
He did. He said yes.
You know Mark?
I don't know.
He just lost 100 pounds. And
Chamber of Commerce.
How exciting. Okay.
Yeah. So we have like a whole list of people, including Chief Williams, from the fire department, which for me was
that's cool.
Very important to have him.
You've been training him?
Well, so I am actually going over to the office literally after this.
Your office or
I'm going to his office.
And you're going to teach him?
I am going to
Paul,
basically
you think it's easy? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And it's okay. Who else? That is cool. Just having him there, it makes a statement.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. And I know I talked a lot with him about like the stuff that's been going on. He's like, look, I'm really having a hard time. I'm just like, that's the point. We know, we get it. Everybody that has been in your position is having a hard time. And what we're trying to do is work through this and build a brighter future, right? So the whole idea was that we were going to do this Dancing Like the Stars fundraiser. We're going to get these people involved, like these state reps, these whoever. And it just so happened, I scheduled this 6 months ago in January. I was like, we're going to do this in January. Well, it just so happens that in January is when Demi is introducing this bill for PTSD, which I didn't even know about until a month ago.
The challenge you're having is people scared to dance.
Yes.
And it's something new.
Yes.
But
this could be an annual thing.
Well, that's the hope. Is that it will be.
And so the excitement is that this will be an annual thing, and this will be the premier fundraiser for the Resiliency Project, and I don't know that I've shared that with Elizabeth, but that's our hope.
What dances are they going to learn?
So,
like Mr. Williams, he's the chief.
Yes.
What are you going to teach him?
That one's a secret because he's the finale. So
really,
yes, he is the finale.
Are you going to dip him?
I might. We'll see. I don't know.
Wow,
I'm strong. I am strong like bull, Grant. Okay,
like a bull.
So you know,
like a bull.
I could if I wanted
like
to.
a bull.
But what we did for everybody is I went through like a whole list of songs. Basically, we had like 20 or 30 songs with dances associated with them, and I folded them up and I put them in a box. And everybody has to draw basically. Like everybody has to pick the song, pick the dance. Like this is what you're going to do. And that's it. It's all randomized. So we're pretty excited about it actually, because there's no like,
So it's going to be you, your husband, and your staff.
yes. And our staff. So we currently at the studio we have 5 staff. So ideally, basically everybody does like 2 or 3 numbers with different people, and then you're good to go. We're also going to have professionals dancing. So Vincent and I will be performing. I have another couple who is coming down from West Palm Beach, another professional dancer couple that's coming down to do part of the show. I think there's 2 of them. They're going to come down and do it. So we're very excited about that. But it's not just going to be the amateurs. We're also going to have professionals dancing in their show, and we'll do formation numbers, stuff like that. So it's going to be like a big show. We're very excited about it. But the cool part about it is that Paul has been involved very much with this whole process, and they set up an Eventbrite for tickets. So we're selling tickets to the show, and then separately we're trying to host a dinner, like a gala dinner afterwards, so that we can, again, first of all, have all those VIP people at the dinner with us, like who participated in this, but also separately so that people, if they want to contribute more to the cause, that at least, they get to go to a gala, they get to have like a nice experience out of it. So that's what we're in the process of working on right now.
It's pretty exciting.
It is exciting. I'm almost thinking that there should be, I can't dance. I was always, I just can't dance. So maybe something in terms of, for those that can't dance, and you give them a year and show how well.
But everybody says that. Can you speak Italian?
No.
Why can't you speak
Listen, I
Italian?
can't dance. The
Okay,
last thing, anybody who's seen me, it's just, I move my arms.
Uh-huh.
I dance like an American guy.
And I totally
do.
understand.
There's
totally
no hip
understand.
action. And yeah.
But I'm just saying, why can't you speak Italian? Have you ever learned Italian?
I guess if you bruschetta,
Right. My
Pasta.
Yeah,
pasta,
and a capri.
Right. Yeah.
There you go. They're great, by the
and
way.
a capri.
They did tell me that they would help sponsor the gala, so I'm hopeful on that one. But the end of my story, the end of my point there is, you can't say that you can't do it if you never learned it. I've never learned Italian.
This is true.
I've never learned Italian. I'm not saying I can't speak Italian. I'm saying I haven't learned it yet.
Yeah.
Right? Dancing is the same. It's just like a language. If you've never learned it, there's no reason for you to know how to do it, which is the reason I'm really excited about the stars and the people that we have coming in, because none of them are dancers. None of them.
Really?
None of them.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah. So to see what they're going to be able to do, and we're donating all the choreography, we're donating all the lessons and everything. It's basically just them coming in to learn on their own time, which is all we're asking, and then dance in the show. So I'm very excited about it.
I'm excited.
I'm even more excited about how much effort you're putting into for this fundraiser. To hear all this is just,
well,
it really is a testament to you and your organization.
To be honest with you, I really personally, like as someone, I hesitate to say that I was the first responder. Like I was in the ICU. I was like after the fact, right? But for me, even just what I experienced and the loss of life during the pandemic and everything, and the families that we talked to and spent so much time with, and for me, that was really traumatic. And I can't even imagine, your guys, the task force teams on Surfside and everything that they've been through. So for me, it was really, really important to do this, because I understand. And I think that a lot of the time mental health issues get kind of swept under the rug. Like we don't like to talk about it in America in general, kind of like pretend that it's not happening or it's not that big of a deal. But I mean, like you said, the suicide rates for first responders are so high, even in America, in the average person, in the general population, the rates of depression have tripled since the pandemic began.
The question I have is, you say it's tripled. Is it tripled because now we're paying attention to it, or has it always been there and nobody's really paid attention?
Well, probably both, right? But that's the big thing. It's like, we want to do this because I wanted someone to say like, hey, look, we see you. It is okay for you to not be okay with what happened, but we're going to get through this. And it does get better.
I like that. It's okay not to be okay.
But it gets better. It can get better, and that was the most important thing.
Well, I really appreciate what you're doing, not just for the dance community, but for the firefighters and people bringing awareness to this. And I'm excited to watch, because I know how difficult it is. And I'll be there with bells on watching. And
bells?
Bells on my...
In your shoes?
Yeah.
Like actually?
Or maybe on my ear, my ear.
I'm going to get you some earrings.
So bells refer to shoes, not necessarily bells on shoes like an elf.
No. So, all right. Andres, can you put it across the bottom? Is there a webpage, email, address? What is there?
Yeah, so they can email us for the Eventbrite information, which I'll get from Jason and I'll pass along. You can send that email to pinecrest@fridastair.com.
Got that? He's going to type it out in a second.
Yeah. So if you are interested in purchasing tickets or donating, you can send that again to pinecrest@fridastair.com.
Oh, there. Okay, put that right over us. Can you put it right?
Ooh.
I like that.
Right.
That's the artwork. Can you put it
That's,
over
I
the screen?
think, the website.
Oh, he's going to put it.
He's trying to do that. But anyway, so if you want to send us an email, we can shoot out the information for the Eventbrite. I also was talking to Paul specifically.
Is that right?
It's /Pinecrest. So it has to be fridastair.com/Pinecrest. That's us.
I have Pinecrest in there.
Yeah, at the end.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, perfect.
So if you want to send us an email, we can send you that information. I also spoke with Paul and with Jason about setting up a GoFundMe separately. Our goal for this fundraiser is $10,000. I'm hoping we can beat it. I'm hoping. But what I would like to do is for any of our students who are in the dance community, if they want to donate separately just to the GoFundMe, I think Vince and I said if anybody donates
Vince.
300, my husband. Yeah, I know.
I'm not
Dance partner
I'm not
extraordinaire.
used to hearing his name, Vince.
Dance partner extraordinaire. I don't know.
Yeah.
What should I call him? Mr. Whitney?
That's good. I'm gonna call Mr. Whitney from now on.
But Vince and I were talking about it, and if anybody from the dance community wants to donate $300 or more to the GoFundMe or the fundraiser specifically, regardless of the tickets and everything else, we will give them a free coaching with us, like the owners of the studio, just
Right.
as a thank you for participating and for donating to this fund. Because, like I said, this is very near and dear to my heart personally.
What day is it again?
It's January 15th.
What day is that?
It's a Saturday.
Saturday. I got a date. Saturday night. How
Yeah.
exciting! I got something to do. January
with
15th.
the new
January
bells.
15th.
With my
With
bell.
your new bells.
Yeah, I'm gonna make
And
sure. Yeah,
it's the day after our grand opening. So I hope
the
that
official grand opening.
our official grand opening. So I hope that you're there at a ribbon cutting.
I'm gonna
and
be
then
there.
I'm gonna be your whole weekend, Brent. Your whole weekend. Me and you.
That's it.
Where are your studios located?
Our studio is 14109 South Dixie Highway. So we're Palmetto Bay, right on the edge of Palmetto, Pinecrest, and
Yeah,
Kendall.
it's right
like in
next
that
to
triangle.
Sun State Bank.
Yep, and
Yeah.
141st.
Old master. What was in the store before?
A Gymboree, the old
Gymboree.
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 Mhm.
And it's a great location.
Yeah.
Great parking.
Yeah,
That to me is
There
the
is
most
parking.
important thing.
in Miami, there's
Yes,
parking.
very parking.
Right.
So, Whitney, I want you to look at that camera and let's close this out.
Did you just call me Whitney?
You know what I meant, Elizabeth.
Oh
But
my
I love your
God.
last name too.
Yeah, she's got two first names.
Yeah. Elizabeth, look at that camera. Let's close
Okay,
this
I'm
out.
looking. I'm ready.
Actually, both your gifts do.
What?
I've got two first names, Paul Blake. I've got two first names also.
There you go.
Wow.
Wow.
I got 3 first names. Grant, David, Yale. How about that? Let's go. Close this out, Elizabeth.
Close us out.
Tell us
Yeah.
what to do.
What do we do,
January
Brent?
15th. Go ahead. Practice it.
Okay. All right. So January 15th, Dancing Like the Stars. If you're interested in purchasing tickets, if you're interested in donating to the GoFundMe for the Resiliency Project, please reach out to us. I can put you in contact with Paul Blake, who is the treasurer, or with Jason, who is their
Jason Sweet, who's our charities
charities
coordinator.
coordinator. I can put you in touch with the right people so we can route that money to their 501c3. You can email us at Pinecrest, Pinecrist, @fridastair.com. You can contact us. You can call us. The number at the studio is 305-988-1955. Again, that's 305-988-1955. And I'm Elizabeth Whitney with Fred Astaire Pinecrest. This is Paul Blake with Metro Firefighters. And obviously, you all know and love Grant Miller.
Everybody have a great day.